Hey warriors, welcome back to the channel. Today's the day we talk about your comeback, rising from the ashes, stronger, fiercer, unstoppable. This isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call to take control of your life right now. If you're ready to ditch excuses and claim your greatness, smash that like button, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the fire we're dropping here. Let's get into it. Your destiny's waiting. Section 1. The illusion of the quick fix. In a society captivated by rapid outcomes, instant gratification, and the promise of overnight success, we often find ourselves chasing a fleeting mirage. The shortcut. It's a seductive notion. Why toil for years when you can leap to the finish line in a fraction of the time? We scroll through feeds, witnessing peers or influencers seemingly catapult to prominence, their polished lives tempting us to believe that triumph can come without tribulation. Yet beneath the glossy surface lies a hidden reality, the unglamorous grind, the sleepless nights, and the relentless effort that no highlight reel can capture. This obsession with speed blinds us to the deeper truth that shortcuts are a fallacy, an empty promise dangled before eager eyes. We've all felt that pull, the urge to bypass the struggle, to uncover a secret hack that unlocks our dreams without the sweat. Perhaps you've bought into a get-rich-quick scheme or hunted for a productivity trick to revolutionize your life in a weekend. But time and again, experience teaches us that these fleeting fixes crumble under pressure, leaving us no closer to our aspirations than when we began. Consider the words of Michael Jordan, who once said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His journey to basketball immortality wasn't paved with quick wins or effortless brilliance. It was forged through countless hours in the gym, through losses that stung, and through a refusal to settle for less than excellence. The allure of the shortcut tempts us to avoid failure, but it's precisely in those moments of defeat that the seeds of greatness are sown. The truth is, there's no express lane to a life of meaning or mastery. What we perceive as sudden success in others is often the culmination of years spent sharpening their craft in the shadows. The entrepreneur who bursts onto the scene likely wrestled with doubt and debt long before the spotlight found them. The musician who enchants the world spent decades perfecting chords in empty rooms. If we want to build something enduring, something that echoes beyond our lifetime, we must first dismantle the illusion that we can outrun the work. Section 2. Embracing the long road. It's time we let go of the fantasy that life's greatest rewards can be seized without sacrifice. The endless hunt for an effortless escape, wishing for victories to materialize without the weight of effort, keeps us tethered to mediocrity. Instead, imagine a shift, a pledge to show up, to invest the hours, to press forward even when the path grows steep and the air feels heavy. The real treasure isn't solely in crossing the finish line, it's in the person you forge through the fire of persistence. There's no elevator to the peak of achievement, no bypass around the rugged terrain of growth. But if you choose to walk the winding trail, to confront the barriers head-on, you'll ascend to heights that leave the shortcut seekers gazing up in awe. Kobe Bryant once said, "I have nothing in common with lazy people who blame others for their lack of success. Great things come from hard work and perseverance, no excuses." His legacy wasn't built on fleeting moments of luck, but on a relentless commitment to the grind, a testament that the journey itself is the proving ground. Temptation whispers that skipping the struggle might spare us pain, that a smoother route could deliver the same prize without the scars. Yet what slips through our fingers when we chase that illusion is the irreplaceable core of the process, the wisdom carved from every stumble. The long road isn't just a means to an end, it's a classroom where resilience is shaped, where each misstep etches a lesson into your bones. You can't borrow strength from a shortcut, you can't inherit grit from a cheat code. Think of a towering oak, its branches swaying in the breeze, its roots buried deep in the earth. It didn't spring up in a single season. It began as a fragile seed, battling rocky soil, enduring storms, and stretching toward the sun year after year. Its majesty is a product of time, of weathering the chaos, of growing through adversity. Your own potential mirrors this. It unfurls slowly, tested by challenges, strengthened by patience, and rooted in the courage to keep going when the winds howl loudest. Section 3. The power of the process. Your dreams, like a sprawling landscape, take shape, not in a fleeting sprint, but across a winding, unpredictable expanse. The road to your ambitions is rarely straight. It twists, it dips, it demands you navigate shadows and steep climbs. Yet it's within this labyrinth of effort that transformation ignites. Success isn't a race won by the swift. It's a tapestry woven through steadfast consistency, through the quiet resolve to rise each morning and take one more step, even when the horizon feels distant. Impatience gnaws at us all. Those moments when progress stalls, when the fruits of our labor seem maddeningly out of reach. But results aren't summoned by longing or conjured by fleeting tricks. They're the harvest of seeds planted daily, tended with care through seasons of doubt. Michael Jordan didn't become a legend by fixating on someone else's scoreboard. He honed his craft relentlessly, trusting that each drop of sweat brought him closer to mastery. Your path is yours to carve, not to compare, and it's the steady rhythm of effort that turns vision into reality. Let go of the restless search for a sudden breakthrough, the hope that a single leap will vault you past the toil. Embrace instead the quiet strength of the process, because that's where your true power unfurls. When the weight of the work presses down, when quitting feels like the only relief, that's the crucible where resilience is born. Push through, and the victories that emerge will carry a sweetness no shortcut could ever replicate, a pride earned through the calluses of your own determination. When you pause one day to glance back, the view won't just reveal milestones, it will reflect the person you've sculpted along the way. Kobe Bryant once reflected, "You have to work hard in the dark to shine in the light." The long, grueling road isn't a punishment, it's a privilege, a forge where character is tempered and dreams are solidified. Don't trade that for fleeting ease. The journey, with all its sweat and scars, is the real prize, and it's worth every ounce of fight you pour into it. Section 4. Forging greatness through the fire. Let's strip away the illusions and face the raw truth. We've all stood at that crossroads, eyes scanning for a faster escape to our dreams, wondering if the grind could somehow be sidestepped. But if you're chasing a success that endures, a triumph that doesn't flicker out after its first taste of applause, there's no dodging the relentless, bone-deep work. The grind is a brutal teacher, unyielding and fierce. It will drag you through days of self-doubt, moments when your confidence frays and your resolve wavers. Yet it's precisely in those trenches, when you summon the will to push harder, that you uncover the steel within. This isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about constructing something far grander, the very essence of who you are. Shortcuts might prop up a flimsy facade, a hollow echo of achievement, but they can't lay the bricks of a legacy. True transformation, the kind that ripples through time, demands unwavering dedication, a heart that stares down adversity and says, "I will not break." As Michael Jordan put it, the game has its ups and downs, but you can never lose focus of your individual goals, and you can't let yourself be beat because of lack of effort. That's the fire where character is forged. Every time the easy path beckons, whispering promises of relief, pause and remember, the long haul is the crucible of real change. The choice lies in your hands. Will you sidestep the struggle, or will you plant your feet and commit to the fight? Kobe Bryant lived this truth, saying, "Everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise." Greatness isn't handed out. It's wrested from the jaws of resistance, shaped by the hands that refuse to let go. The road is yours to choose, but only one leads to a summit worth standing on. No secret recipe exists. No hidden bypass awaits. Just you, your vision, and the sweat it takes to breathe life into it. The journey will test your limits, stretch your spirit, and demand more than you thought you had to give, but that's its gift. Every ounce of effort you pour in today is a deposit in the vault of your tomorrow, a promise that the struggle isn't in vain. There's no shortcut, and that's the beauty of it. What you build through the fire is yours, unshakable and eternal. Keep pressing forward, because the payoff isn't just in what you achieve, but in who you become. Section 5. The strength of silent tenacity. Here's the brutal twist. The toughest battle isn't in the sweat of the work itself, it's in staying the course when the spotlight fades, when you're toiling in the shadows, unnoticed, while the world races by at a dizzying pace. Those moments of silence, when it feels like your efforts dissolve into the void, can trick you into believing you're invisible, left behind, or forgotten. But the reality is, progress doesn't always arrive with fanfare. It builds in the quiet, incremental steps you take when no one's watching. each one a defiant whisper that you're still in the fight. There's a fierce, unspoken power in those solitary days, when the crowd's applause is absent and the finish line feels like a mirage. That's when the real forging happens, when you muster the grit to keep going despite the ache of obscurity. Kobe Bryant once said, "The moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win." Success isn't sculpted by the rare, dazzling breakthroughs alone. It's carved through the dogged, unglamorous push forward day after day, even when the needle barely moves. That's the heartbeat of true achievement. Take a moment to honor those small victories, the hours spent refining your craft, the lessons wrested from failure, the resolve to rise after a fall. They may not glitter, but they stack up, brick by brick, into a foundation that can bear the weight of lasting triumph. Michael Jordan didn't ascend to greatness by sidestepping the grind. He embraced it, knowing every missed shot, every grueling practice, was molding him into a champion. The hard stuff isn't a detour. It's the raw material of your rise. When the urge to surrender creeps in, when the silence grows heavy and the road feels endless, anchor yourself in this. There's no shortcut to a life of substance. The path to something extraordinary demands perseverance, a fire in your soul, and the raw tenacity to press on through the muck. That's what separates the fleeting from the eternal. Those who take the easy out might taste a momentary win, but the ones who endure the grind claim a greatness that time can't erode. Keep pushing. The journey itself is your crown. Section 6. The long game of lasting triumph. Here's your challenge. Dive headfirst into the journey, welcoming every struggle, every hurdle, every jagged edge that comes with it. These aren't walls to curse or dodge. They're the chisels that shape you, the trials that temper your spirit into something unbreakable. Shortcuts might fling you forward for a fleeting moment, but they'll never carry you to the depths of your true potential. The long, winding road isn't just the path to strength. It's the prize itself, a proving ground where you discover what you're capable of becoming. It's all too easy to glance sideways, to measure your pace against those who seem to sprint effortlessly into the spotlight. You see their polished wins, their overnight glory, and wonder why your own road feels so much slower, so much harder. But peel back the curtain, and the truth emerges. Those who stand tall didn't begin there. As Kobe Bryant once reflected, "I wasn't born great, I worked to become great." What shines now is the fruit of unseen years, grit poured into quiet hours, failures stacked like stepping stones, and a refusal to cut corners when the easy way beckoned. Shortcuts have a catch. They might rush you to a finish line, but they leave you hollow, unready for what lies beyond. Speed can deliver a prize, but it skips the lessons, the resilience, the wisdom, the backbone. You need to hold that ground once you've claimed it. Michael Jordan didn't just chase championships. He built the fortitude to weather pressure, to thrive under scrutiny, because he'd walked the full length of the struggle. Without that foundation, success becomes a house of cards, toppling under the first gust of real challenge. What you're after isn't just a peak to conquer. It's a summit you can stand on, expand from, and reign over with confidence. That's the long game, crafting a life you command, not a fleeting win you stumble into. The grind teaches you how to endure, how to adapt, how to turn setbacks into fuel for something greater. True success isn't about touching the top. It's about growing roots deep enough to stay there, to stretch higher, and to build a legacy that outlasts the moment. That's what the journey hands you, and no shortcut can steal it. Section 7. The legacy of unyielding effort. When the weight of the journey presses down, when it feels too vast, too punishing, too shrouded in doubt, pause and anchor yourself in the spark that set you ablaze. If you're crafting something enduring, something that swells your chest with pride, there's no sidestepping the hard miles. It's in those moments when quitting seems sweeter than pushing on that your commitment is tested. Michael Jordan once said, "Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it." Your legacy isn't just the finish line. It's the sum of every tear, every lesson, every drop of sweat you refuse to let go to waste. So what's your move today? Are you ready to lean into the grind? To greet the struggle not as a foe but as a forge, knowing no shortcut can carve the path to your dreams? If you are, you've already outpaced the crowd, because the journey itself is the crucible that molds you into someone extraordinary. Kobe Bryant didn't chase fleeting wins. He chased mastery, understanding that the process is the reward. Each step you take, no matter how grueling, is a thread in the tapestry of your greatness, weaving a story worth telling. The ones who rise above, who etch their names into the fabric of time, aren't the ones who dodge the fight. They're the ones who embrace it. They see every faltering step, every bruise from a fall, as a piece of a larger mosaic. The struggle isn't a punishment. It's the fire that hardens your resolve, the resistance that builds your mental and emotional muscle. Shortcuts might promise a quick thrill, but they rob you of the depth, the richness, the unshakable core that only comes from wrestling with the hard stuff and coming out stronger. The world will dangle its lures, hacks, quick fixes, paths of least resistance, tempting you to trade effort for ease. But you know the secret. Real victory isn't snatched. It's earned, sculpted through the slow burn of patience, the stubborn grip of persistence, and the raw edge of grit. Cutting corners doesn't just skim the surface of success, it slices away the chance to grow roots deep enough to weather storms. The true path, the one you're on, is jagged and steep, and that's why it's the one that will carry you not just to the top, but beyond it, into a life that echoes with purpose. Section 8. The unbreakable foundation of the long haul. Those who dare to linger in the mess of learning, who stumble and rise day after day, are the architects of something eternal. They're the ones who can stand firm when tempests roar, not because they've dodged the rain, but because they've danced in it, tested by smaller squalls, seasoned by the rhythm of the grind. Experience is their silent wealth, earned through every falter and every fix, a treasure no shortcut can counterfeit. Michael Jordan didn't just win titles, he built an iron will through the losses, proving that the process itself is the bedrock of endurance. No hidden code unlocks success, no enchanted map points the way. There's only the raw pulse of effort, the steady beat of showing up, and the quiet steel of resilience. Each day you commit is a stone laid in your foundation. Each grind-soaked moment stacks another layer of depth. It might not shimmer in the now. Progress often wears a humble disguise. But as Kobe Bryant knew, rest at the end, not in the middle. Those small wins, those unseen triumphs, compound like interest, building a fortune of strength over time. The road will throw its barricades, twists and dead ends that tempt you to hunt for an escape hatch. But when those walls rise, don't flinch or curse the delay. See them as the raw material of your rise. Setbacks aren't the end. They're the setup, the rehearsals for victories yet to come. There's no bypassing the long stretch, and that's the gift. Every push through the muck equips you for the weight of what's ahead. The journey demands your all, not because it's cruel, but because it's crafting you for the extraordinary. Success isn't merely the trophies you clutch, it's the soul you sculpt along the way, the wisdom you wrestle from the chaos, the version of yourself you meet at the end. That kind of growth doesn't bloom from a quick fix. It's forged in the slow burn of persistence, the relentless march through the mire. If you're playing the long game, and you should be, there's one creed to live by. Keep moving, keep grinding, keep believing. Greatness isn't a sprint or a cheat. It's a road rugged and real, and every step you take proves you're worthy of its end. Section 9. The beauty of the unskippable road. Here's the unvarnished truth. There's no secret passage, no back door to slip through, and that's not a flaw, it's a gift. The journey, with all its jagged edges and heavy lifting, is exactly where you're meant to bloom. Every late night hunched over your work, every sacrifice that stings, every failure that bruises. It's not wasted time, it's the clay molding you into someone ready to wield success when it lands. The process isn't a hurdle to clear, it's the heartbeat of your becoming. Those moments when the easy way glints like a siren's call, when quitting feels like the only sane choice, those are the crucibles where your metal is forged. It's simple to stride forward when the winds favor you, when the crowd roars your name, but the real muscle of character flexes when the tide turns cold and silent. Michael Jordan thrived in those shadows, noting, "Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships." Pushing through when the world feels like a wall builds a bedrock so solid that no storm can shake it. The deeper you trek, the clearer it becomes. The grind isn't a punishment, it's a privilege. You unearth layers of yourself, strength you didn't know you carried, resilience that hardens with every hit, confidence that glows brighter through the cracks. Failure stops being a dead end and starts looking like a signpost, a nudge to keep going. Kobe Bryant saw it too. Pain doesn't tell you when you ought to stop. Pain is the little voice in your head that tries to hold you back. As long as you keep your feet moving, no setback can chain you down. When the world peddles its quick fixes, or when your own heart hunts for a fast lane, pause and reframe. The long road is the shortcut, the only one that matters. Embrace the thorns, the stumbles, the slow burn of effort, because they're the ink in your story, the proof you didn't just stumble into meaning, you built it. With every callus earned, every tear shed, you're crafting something that lasts, something no one can take away. That's the tale of someone who chose the hard way and made it magnificent. Section 10. The reward of the road you walk. When you finally stand atop the mountain you've clawed your way up, gazing back at the winding trail behind you, the revelation will hit. The trek itself was the true gold. The person you've chiseled out of the raw stone of effort, the wisdom you've harvested from every fall, the iron will you've forged. It's all worth more than the summit alone. There's no detour to greatness, no hidden escalator, and that's the perfect design. As Kobe Bryant once said, if you're afraid to fail, then you're probably going to fail. The long road is the only road, and it's everything. Draw in a steady breath and hold fast. There's no skipping this climb, and that's the beauty of it. Keep your momentum, keep stretching toward the next version of yourself. Keep clawing for the heights, because greatness isn't a gift dropped in your lap. It's a monument you build, step by painstaking step. Michael Jordan didn't wait for the game to come to him. He seized it, declaring, "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. The journey is your canvas, and every stroke counts. Peer into the mirror and lock eyes with the one staring back. That's the sole architect of your destiny. Not your circle, not your kin, not a stroke of fortune. You. Every moment you falter, every excuse you cradle, someone else is out there grinding, chasing their fire while you sit, hoping the world will shift on its own. It won't. Success doesn't knock on idle doors. It bows to those who hunt it down with a ferocity that says, 'This is mine to take.' Your life hinges on that hunger. Will you feed it or let it starve? The script of your existence is being penned right now, inked by the choices you make today. Hesitation is a thief, stealing seconds that could be spent building your tomorrow. The ones who claim victory aren't the patient dreamers. They're the relentless doers, the ones who treat every day like it's the battlefield of their legacy. Your future isn't a distant promise. It's a living thing shaped by the sweat and resolve you pour into this very moment. There's no shortcut, only the road, and you're the one walking it. Section 11. The cost of waiting. Step back and interrogate yourself. Are you proud of the hours slipping through your fingers? Are you pouring every ounce of your soul into the dreams you claim to cherish? Or are you just a voice in the wind, spinning tales of ambition without the muscle to back them up? Talking is the easy part. Anyone can paint a pretty picture with words, declaring their hunger for success. But the mirror doesn't lie, and neither should you. Are you fighting or just flapping your gums? Words are a hollow currency, cheap, weightless, and meaningless unless forged into action. How often have you fed yourself the soft lie of tomorrow, swearing that next week, next month, next year the switch will flip? You've been coasting on delay, treating time like a bottomless well, but here's the cold slap of truth. It's running dry. Kobe Bryant didn't build a legacy on promises. He lived it, saying, "You can't get much done in life if you only work on the days when you feel good." Intentions don't build empires, sweat does. You convince yourself there's always more time, another shot, a fresh dawn to seize. But what if the clock's already ticking its final beats? What if the next time you shrug and stall, the window slams shut for good? Life isn't cruel, and the universe isn't out to get you. It's just indifferent. Opportunities don't linger for the hesitant. They bow to the bold. Michael Jordan knew this. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. But I can't accept not trying. Every second you waste is a theft from your own future. There's no endless stack of second chances waiting to bail you out. Not because fate is harsh, but because you've already squandered enough. Each day you let slip, each excuse you cradle. You're shoving your dreams further into the haze, proving they're not worth your fire. Hesitation isn't just a pause, it's a verdict, a quiet admission that you don't crave it enough. The life you want isn't a gift to be unwrapped later, it's a battle to be won now. Time's not your ally, it's your judge. Section 12. The urgency of now. Let's cut through the noise. You already know what's required. You don't need another pep talk, another glossy book, or some guru to spoon-feed you possibility. The blueprint's in your head, etched clear as day. But here's the brutal catch. Knowing is a dead-end street without the guts to move. Knowledge is a tool, not a triumph. It's a hammer that builds nothing until you swing it. As Michael Jordan put it, you have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. You've got the map. Why aren't you walking? If you were dead serious about rewriting your life, you'd have started before the sun rose today. If commitment burned in your veins, you wouldn't be perched waiting for the stars to align, because they never will. There's no perfect moment, no golden hour. There's only this breath, this heartbeat, this now. Every delay is a lie you whisper to yourself. I'll leap when I'm ready. But readiness is a myth. Next week will be smoother. It won't. I've got time. You don't. Kobe Bryant didn't wait for ease. He said, I'll do whatever it takes to win games. Whether it's sitting on a bench waving a towel or hitting a game-winning shot. Look at the graveyard of dreams around you. Friends, faces once alight with passion, now dimmed by regret, stuck in the quicksand of someday. They thought time was a loyal friend, that second chances grew on trees. They were wrong. You've got one crack at this wild, fleeting life, one shot to rise above the ordinary, to prove you're not just another shadow fading into the crowd. Don't let your fire gutter out, snuffed by the illusion of endless tomorrows. The clock doesn't care about your hesitation. What's holding you back? Fear? Doubt? Or worse, comfort? That soft, insidious trap is ambition's quiet assassin, lulling you into a haze until you blink and find decades gone, wondering where the fight went. Comfort doesn't cheer for your dreams. It buries them, layer by numbing layer. Stop waiting for life to toss you a lifeline. Stop banking on a magical morning when you'll feel ready. You've got to rip yourself from the cushions and charge, because if you don't, the only thing waking up will be regret, staring you down in the mirror. Section 13. The final line in the sand. Here's the stark reality. This heartbeat, this fleeting now, is the only thing you can bank on. Everything else is borrowed and you've been squandering it. That stops today. No more drifting. No more wishing. No more clinging to the crutch of second chances. You either hurl yourself at your dreams with every shred of fire you've got, or you settle into the cold truth that they'll slip through your fingers forever. Excuses? Done. Blaming the world? Over. Wallowing in pity? Finished. This is your reckoning. Life doesn't bend for your alibis. It doesn't flinch at your fears or cradle your fatigue. It doesn't pause for your doubts or whisper reassurances when you tremble. Life salutes the doers, the ones who storm the gates, the ones who snarl at quitting and keep charging. Today's the day you choose. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Michael Jordan didn't wait for courage. He said, limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. This is your shot, your breath, your move, and there's no safety net left. How many times have you crowned a new year the one, only to watch it fade into the same old script? How many Mondays have you sworn to start, only to crumble by midweek? Enough of the charade, enough of fooling yourself with promises you don't keep, enough of stalling for a flawless dawn that never breaks. The perfect moment isn't coming, it's here, staring you down, demanding you meet it. Kobe Bryant lived this. We all have self-doubt. You don't deny it, but you also don't capitulate to it. You embrace it. Stop postponing your own uprising. Some of you are perched, waiting for a nod from the universe, a green light from someone else. You don't need it. You are the signal, the spark, the go-ahead. Some of you think fear will fade. It won't. You just grow claws to wrestle it down. Some of you are gazing at the sky, begging for a cosmic wink. This is it, right here. This sentence blazing in your face. There's no more time to waste. No more chances to squander. Step up or step aside. The choice is yours and it's now. Section 14. The line between dreaming and doing. If you don't seize this moment, you're carving a groove you'll never climb out of. Each delay etches quitting into your bones, training your mind to shrug and say, later's fine. But your dreams don't have a snooze button. Every tick of the clock is a piece of your life you'll never reclaim. Every day you let slide is a theft from the you who's waiting down the line. One morning, that future self will open their eyes and see the hourglass empty. Don't let that ghost haunt you. Michael Jordan didn't coast. He warned, the minute you get away from fundamentals, the bottom can fall out. Don't be the one staring back through time, choking on what-ifs, a prisoner of regret because you couldn't muster the guts to jump. You crave change? Then shift. You hunger for success, then grind. You ache for a life that roars, then claw for it. Nothing's handed over, nothing's promised. You either rise and claim it or slink back and watch it fade. Kobe Bryant lived this truth. You have to be willing to sacrifice everything. No more stalling, no more scapegoats, no more lifelines. Prove you mean it right this second. The world doesn't blink at your sob stories. It doesn't flinch if you're weary, scared, or scarred. Success doesn't either. It's blind to your past, deaf to your struggles, unmoved by your excuses. It asks one question, cold and clear. Did you show up and do the damn work? That's the only currency it trades in. No fairy dust, no golden tickets, no bypass lanes. The universe isn't here to coddle you. It's here to test you. And the verdict hinges on your sweat. You're not blind to this. You've known it all along. The playbook's in your hands. The steps are mapped out. The snag isn't ignorance. It's inertia. Years spent mulling, chatting, fantasizing about a brighter life. But thoughts don't shift the earth. Words don't build bridges. Dreams don't break chains. Only action does. You've lingered long enough in the shallows of someday. Now's the plunge into the deep end. Knowing's the spark. Doing's the fire. Light it or lose it. Section 15. The fragility of now. You're perched there, letting time bleed out like it's a river with no end. But it's not. You think you've got a stockpile of it. Ask the one who lost it all in a heartbeat, the one whose shot vanished before they could even grip it. You're still breathing, still in the game. That's your luck, your edge. But how long that holds, you don't know. And that's the razor's edge you're dancing on. Every second ticking by could be the last grain in your hourglass, and you're blind to when it runs out. This could be it, the final opening to flip the script, the last bullet in your chamber to chase what sets your soul ablaze. So why are you frozen? You claim you want success, but are you ready to bleed for it, to drag yourself out of bed before dawn, burn the midnight oil, grind when no one's there to clap? Will you trade ease for progress, or just sit there, fingers crossed, betting on a fairy tale ending? Michael Jordan didn't wish for rings. He said, "I've never lost a game, I just ran out of time." Hope's a mirage, action's the muscle. Wishing won't carve your path. Luck's a flimsy thread, not a rope to climb. The real tools? Grit, discipline. Showing up when your bones ache and your doubts scream. Without that, you're kidding yourself. You don't want it enough. The ones who taste victory don't wait for it to knock. They kick the door down. They don't whine about the odds, they rewrite them. Kobe Bryant didn't flinch. I don't want to be the next Michael Jordan, I only want to be Kobe Bryant. Are you the one who lingers, who wavers, who lets life call the shots? Or the one who seizes the wheel and floors it? Your moves, not your mouth, tell the tale. Not your grand plans or noble intentions, but what you're doing this very second. What's your play today? What's the step you're taking right now to shift the tide? If it's nothing, don't blink when the mirror shows you the same old story tomorrow. Living like second chances are infinite cheapens the one you've got. No more stalling, no more chatter, no more safety nets. Time's up. This is your now. Move or lose it. Section 16. The price of standing still. You've let too many seconds slip through your fingers. Irreplaceable beats where you could have surged ahead, but instead you froze. Why? Because fear gripped you, exhaustion weighed you down, or you just weren't feeling it. Life doesn't give a damn about your mood. It doesn't pause for your doubts or tiptoe around your fatigue. It's a freight train barreling forward, and you're either on board or left choking in its dust. Michael Jordan didn't wait for inspiration. He said, "I play to win, whether during practice or a real game. Time's not your babysitter, it's your deadline. If you don't grab the reins now, if you don't demand more from the person staring back in the mirror, you'll blink and find the sand gone from the glass. No more retrees. How many more hours will you waste? Scrolling past others' victories, stewing in if only I'd started sooner. Every tomorrow you mutter is a brick in the wall of quitting, and that habit's a parasite. Once it sinks its teeth in, it's relentless, gnawing away at your resolve. Kobe Bryant knew, the moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win. Delay is surrender in slow motion. Let it fester, and it'll devour everything. Your body's strength, your wildest ambitions, the untapped potential simmering inside you. And then what? You'll be left with the hollow ache of regret, a sting sharper than any fall, a shadow you can't outrun. One day you'll face the mirror and ask, did I pour it all out there? If the answer's no, if you know you coasted, shrank from the fight, let fear pull the strings, That weight will cling to you like damp earth. It's a burden no excuse can lift. Right now you've got a pulse, a shot, a crack in the door, but it's not eternal. Opportunities don't linger, they fade, and time doesn't rewind. That window you're peering through, it's sliding shut, inch by inch. Don't let it slam on you. You've got the chance to rewrite the story, to claw your way out of the sidelines, but only if you move. The clock's ticking, and it's merciless. Don't wake up to a life half-lived, chained to the ghost of what might have been. Section 17, the final call to rise. Here's the fork in the road. Act now or kiss this shot goodbye forever. What's your play? Will you keep spinning excuses, letting fear yank the leash, stalling for a perfect moment while your life bleeds out? Or will you finally plant your flag, declare this second yours, shred the chains of waiting, silence the tremble in your gut, and stop squandering what's left? Michael Jordan didn't pause for permission. I've always believed that if you put in the work, the results will come. The clock's glaring. Choose. No one's riding in to hand you the life you crave. No savior, no shortcut, no stand-in to shoulder the load. It's you, Solo, staring down the barrel of your own potential. Rise up, seize the reins, become the force you were born to be. Do it now, because this isn't a dress rehearsal, it's the last take. Kobe Bryant didn't wait for handouts. I create my own path. The life you dream of isn't a gift. It's a fight. And the bell's ringing. This is it. Not tomorrow's dawn, not next week's promise, right now. Life doesn't loiter while you hunt for the right vibe. It charges on, ruthless and blind. Motivation? A fickle ghost that won't drag you forward. Signs? You've dodged every blazing one screaming in your face. The harsh truth is there's no encore, no extra innings. You've been idling, betting on a cosmic nudge that never lands. Wake up. There's no more buffer, no more second chances. The world you want won't assemble itself. You've got to hammer it into shape, brick by bloody brick. Excuses are noise. Progress is the signal. The universe doesn't flinch at your exhaustion, your panic, your stress. It shrugs and keeps spinning. It bows only to those who move, who act, who dare. Enough stalling, step into the ring, because the only thing standing between you and the life you're meant for is the decision you make this very breath. No more waiting. Go. Section 18. The divide between winners and waiters. Look at the clock. Winners and losers both get the same 24 hours, but the gap between them is a canyon. Winners don't sit around pining for extra shots. They snatch the first one and sprint. Face yourself square. You could be miles ahead right now, stacking wins, tasting triumph, but you're not. Why? You let your emotions steer, picked the warm blanket of comfort over the cold edge of progress, gambled on an endless tomorrow. Newsflash, that bank's empty. Michael Jordan didn't coast. I never looked at the consequences of missing a big shot. When you think about the consequences, you're thinking about losing. Time's not your buddy, it's a thief, and every second it swipes is a brick ripped from your future. You think you've got years to sculpt your body, launch that venture, chase that wild dream. You're wrong. If you don't lunge now, don't shove past your own ceilings, regret will slink in, slow, insidious, piling up until you're buried under what could have been. By then, the game's over. No more pondering, no more delays, no more second chances. Kobe Bryant nailed it. We don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and conquer. Most people slap the snooze button, groan and mumble tomorrow like it's a prayer, but you're not wired like that. The crowd cowers at risks, shrugs into the gray haze of average, calls mediocrity home. Not you. You're cut from sharper cloth, built to stare down the ordinary and spit in its face. Most drift through life half asleep, waiting for the world to nudge them awake. You don't. You're the one who rips the covers off, who sees the ticking clock and charges anyway. The masses buckle when the heat cranks up. They whine, point fingers, blame the stars, their past, their boss, the system. You're the outlier who digs in when the rest scatter, who meets the grind head-on, who knows what they'll never grasp. The struggle's your road, the pain's your fuel, the suffering's your forge. You don't dodge it, you wield it. Because greatness isn't a freebie, it's a toll and you're ready to pay it. Step up or step out. Winners don't wait. Section 19. The outlier's edge. The herd hunts for a spark, someone to cheer them on, light a fire under them, whisper, it's time to begin. Not you. You don't lean on motivation's fickle glow. You forge it. When your legs ache, you tie your laces tighter. When your body pleads for a breather, You storm the weights anyway. You show up, grind it out, and eclipse yesterday's effort because you've cracked the code. Discipline trumps inspiration every damn time. Michael Jordan didn't wait for a muse. I set another goal, a reasonable, manageable goal that I could realistically achieve if I worked hard enough. Most cling to their cozy cocoons. Easy street, safe harbor, but comfort's a silent saboteur of greatness. You don't crave soft landings or padded edges. You hunger for the raw yield of effort. Results don't sprout from cushions. They're ripped from the jaws of resistance, born when you push past the screech of every muscle begging for mercy. While others nap, you strike. While they grumble about life's curveballs, you bow your head and outmuscle them. Kobe Bryant got it. Pain is the platform for growth. You don't beg for a green light or fish for applause. You charge, you deliver, you own it. That's your ticket to the top. The crowd wastes their days wishing on stars, praying for a flawless opening that never arrives, because it doesn't exist. There's only this pulse, this breath, this now. You don't twiddle your thumbs for permission slips. You seize the reins and ride. Most people drift, tethered to someday. You shred that rope and build your today. 5 years from now, the masses will yawn into the same stale routine, trapped in the quicksand of fear and inaction. Not you. You're the rogue, the anomaly, the one who spits on average and carves a different fate. You're not here to blend in, you're here to break out. Enough overthinking, enough stalling, enough hovering on the edge. It's time to lunge, to climb, to morph into the force you were always destined to be. You're not most people. You're the one who moves the world. Section 20. The Forge of the Unbreakable. The crowd loves to chatter about their grand visions, spilling them to buddies, splashing them across screens, scribbling blueprints they'll never dust off. They mistake the buzz of words for the weight of wins. Not you. You don't preach, you perform. Most folks are bleacher dwellers, heckling from the cheap seats, griping about the game they won't play. They chalk success up to a lucky break, snicker at a tumble, but never lace up their own boots. You? You're in the arena, taking the punches, spitting blood, and rising every time. You're a breed apart. You don't flinch at the flames, you wade in. Failure's not your boogeyman, it's your mentor. While most duck it like a plague, you greet it. Each stumble a lesson, each no a whetstone, each shortfall a hammer strike toughening your core. Michael Jordan didn't dodge misses. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career, and that is why I succeed. Most let a fall break them, you let it shape you, turning cracks into steel. The majority drift down the lazy river, bailing when the current bites. They whimper, it's too much. You grin and say, bring it. Hard's your ally, your crucible. It's what sets you apart, what makes you unyielding. Most crave the smooth ride, the padded path. You thrive on the jagged edges. Easy's for the brittle. Toughness is born in the rough. Kobe Bryant lived it. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. Hard's your proving ground and you own it. Dreams are cheap talk for most. They'll take the crown but dodge the sweat. They want the physique without the reps, the cash without the hustle, the nods without the grind. You're wired different. You know success isn't a handout. It's a heist, snatched through unseen hours, tempered in the dark, honed by the discipline of showing up when the stands are empty. You don't beg for it. You claim it piece by grueling piece because you're not here to wish. You're here to forge. Section 21. The relentless pursuit of the edge. When that 4 a.m. alarm shrieks, most slap it silent and sink back into the haze. You bolt upright. When your muscles howl and your chest heaves, most tap out. You dig deeper. While the world flops on sofas, thumbs flicking through endless feeds, you're in the trenches, grinding. You don't crave the lukewarm puddle most settle for, average, ordinary, invisible. You're after the blaze of greatness, and that fire doesn't flicker for free. Michael Jordan didn't snooze. I'm not out there sweating for 3 hours every day just to find out what it feels like to sweat. It's costly, and you're all in. Most will never taste the rush of pouring their whole soul into something vaster than themselves, never feel the electric jolt of shattering their own ceilings, silencing the skeptics, clawing to the peak with every scar earned. You will. You're cut from a rarer cloth, ready to do what they won't. Most chase the shallow thrill of ease. You chase the summit. Kobe Bryant knew the score. Great things come from hard work and perseverance, no excuses. You're not here to coast, you're here to conquer. The masses flee from pain like it's a plague, sidestepping sweat, dodging the grind, crumbling at the first tremor. Not you. You lean into the sting, Hunt the struggle, wield discomfort like a blade. Pain's your coin, growth's your prize. You get that while the world scrambles for pillows, you're sharpening your edge. Most seek the soft landing. You seek the razor's brink. You don't just endure, you thrive where they falter. They quit when the tank's low, when the burn bites, when the cozy beckons. You don't. You don't clock out at tired. You stop when the job's done, bulldozing through exhaustion, doubt, fear. When the rest collapse, you advance. That's your divide, your superpower. Most fade, you flare. Jordan said it best. The only way to relieve pressure is to keep moving forward. You're not just different, you're unstoppable, a force carved from the refusal to bend. Section 22. The unyielding path to victory. Most scour the map for a bypass. Hungry for the prize without the price, chasing wins without the war. They're chasing ghosts. There's no secret hatch, no velvet road. The only route is straight through the drip of sweat, the ache of effort, the mornings when every nerve begs you to fold. You get it. Shortcuts are a lie. Michael Jordan didn't hunt for easy. If you're trying to achieve, there will be roadblocks. I've had them, everybody has had them, but obstacles don't have to stop you. You plow through unflinching. The crowd dreads the quiet. They lean on claps, fish for nods, wilt without a chorus of "you've got this," not you. You don't need a spotlight or a shoulder tap. You know your compass is true. Success is a solitary trek, forged in the dim, in the hush, when the stands are empty and the only sound is your own heartbeat. Kobe Bryant thrived there. I don't need too much glory. I just want to win. You don't crave a crowd, you crave the grind, and that's your power. Most squander their hours, lost in feeds, glued to screens, drowning their spark in mindless noise. Days bleed into years until they jolt awake, staring at a life frittered away. You wield time like a blade, every tick a chance to sharpen, to climb, to close the gap. While they whine, you build. While they stall, you soar. While they surrender, you stand firm. Most people erode in distraction. You rise in focus, relentless, unstoppable. That's your edge. That's why you'll triumph. Years from now, when the masses are still mired, still muttering if only, still dreaming without doing, you'll tower above. When they lounged, you labored. When they bailed, you battled. When they doubted, you delivered. You're not most people. You're a force forged in the furnace of discipline, unbreakable in your resolve. The world's about to see it. Now's the hour to unleash who you've always been. Not a dreamer, but a doer, built for more. Section 23. The power of the offensive. Most linger poised for the right tick of the clock, the ideal breeze, the sudden jolt of inspiration. You don't. You strike. You carve the chance from nothing because you've cracked the code. Waiting is a slow bleed to nowhere. Michael Jordan didn't bide his time. You must take action now that will move you toward your goals. While others watch the horizon, you're already halfway there, turning inertia into momentum. Years down the line, most will stir to a bitter dawn, regret seeping in heavy with, "I should have started. I should have dared. I let fear win." Not you. You'd rather crash chasing the sun than coast in the shade of good enough. You'd rather leap and scrape your knees than perch on the edge, haunted by what if. Kobe Bryant lived it. I'd rather shoot and miss than not shoot at all. Regret's not your shadow. You've outrun it. The majority hunker down, ducking life's jabs, letting the current shove them where it will. You're on the attack, calling the shots, bending the game to your will. You don't wait for fate to deal your hand. You stack the deck. Most play to survive. You play to dominate, wresting your future from the grip of chance. Jordan said, "I've always believed that if you put in the work, the results will come. You don't react, you reign." Doubt dogs most people, gnawing at their choices, stalling their steps, clouding every move with maybe not. You trust your gut, back your own horse, bank on your grit to crack any wall. Hesitation's a stranger. Confidence is your pulse. When the going gets brutal, you don't flinch, you figure it out. That's your victory key, unshakable belief in the one steering the ship, you. Most waver, you win. Section 24. The alchemy of relentless hunger. Most let fear call the shots. Fear of crashing, fear of whispers, fear of straying from the herd. It locks their futures in a cage, not you. You snatch that fear, that shaky unknown, that nagging doubt, and you torch it into fuel. Raw, blazing energy that drives you forward. Michael Jordan flipped the script. Fear is an illusion. I've turned it into motivation. Where others shrink, you ignite. The crowd slams into barriers and freezes. Walls loom and they bolt. You don't break for obstacles. You shatter them, scale them, tunnel beneath them. There's always a crack, a path, a play, and you find it. No hurdles final, no blockades your boss. Kobe Bryant didn't flinch. Everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise. You don't retreat, you conquer. Resistance buckles most. They feel the pushback and wave the white flag. For you, it's not a stop sign, it's a signal you're growing. Every tug of struggle toughens your sinew. Every clash carves your edge. Every stumble hands you a truth. Most see friction as defeat. You see it as the forge. Jordan knew it. The game is my teacher. Resistance isn't your enemy, it's your anvil. They think success is a birthright, talent's the golden ticket, greatness a gift for the anointed. You see through the myth. It's not about a head start. It's about a burning obsession, a gnawing hunger, a want that claws at your gut. Most fantasize about the crown, but balk at the cost. You don't. You're primed to pay, in sweat, in nights, in relentless will. Most dream you do. You're not just willing, you're ravenous, unbreakable, built to take it all. Section 25. The unchained force of will. You don't just yearn for it, you command it. You don't cross your fingers, you swing your fists. You don't drift in dreams, you hammer them into reality. When the smoke clears, when time tallies the score, the evidence will be undeniable. You stood apart. You dared what most wouldn't touch, refused to buckle, refused to bend, refused to take the crumbs. Michael Jordan didn't wish, I demand excellence from myself. The world will see. You're a different breed. They'll gawk and ask, how'd you pull it off? How'd you climb that peak, outrun the pack, outstrip their wildest guesses? You'll lock eyes and deliver the truth steady as stone, because I'm not most people. No swagger, no frills, just fact. Kobe Bryant owned it. I'm reflective only in the sense that I learned to move forward. You didn't scale the heights by blending in. You did it by breaking out, by doing the work they wouldn't. Most are caged, snared by their own alibis, shackled by their own dread, boxed in by ceilings they nailed up themselves. I can't, they mutter. Too tough, they sigh. Later, they stall, until the curtain drops, and they've never even swung. You reject that cell. You won't be your own warden because you know the heaviest chains aren't forged by fate. They're self-fitted, link by link, excuse by excuse. You snap them. The majority marinate in their own myths, tales of why they're stuck, why the wall's too high. You rewrite the script. You kick the bars down, step into your own strength, claim the narrative. Most plod on autopilot, wake, work, scroll, sleep, repeat, ticking days off like a sentence. Not you. You don't drift through a loop. You live. You strain. You stretch. You shed the skin of yesterday for something fiercer. You're not here to coast. You're here to roar. Section 26. The fire of the unstoppable. Most people shrink from the itch of unease, clinging to the padded walls of their safe little pens, dodging anything that rattles their ease. You know the secret. Comfort's a stall, and growth brews in the sting. You hurl yourself into the blaze, tackle the shadows that spook you, because you've glimpsed the prize beyond the tremble. Freedom. Michael Jordan leaned in. If you accept the expectations of others, especially negative ones, then you never will change the outcome. You don't flee discomfort, you hunt it. The masses slump into good enough, a soul-sucking job, a leeching bond, a body they shrug at, a life that drones on, a tomorrow they don't steer. Not you. You don't bend to fine. You crave more, claim more, claw for more, because deep down you feel it. You were carved for bigger, bolder, brighter. Kobe Bryant didn't settle. I'm not here to be second. You're not wired to stagnate, you're built to demand, and you back it with sweat. Most spin dreams like fairy tales, chatter plans they'll never chase, wish on stars they won't reach for. You don't just muse, you move. You hammer visions into steel with discipline, with grunt, with a mind that won't quit. Luck? You don't lean on it. Permission? You don't ask. Motivation? You don't wait. You rise. You grind. You seize it. Jordan said, some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. You're the maker. That's your victory ticket. That's why you'll crest the peak, while the rest mutter, if only. Success doesn't bow to the timid, the dawdlers, the loudmouths who fizzle out. It crowns the relentless, the possessed, the ones who charge when the world says stop. Years from now, they'll marvel, how'd you do it? Why'd you soar while we sank? You'll grin because the answer's been yours from the jump. You're not them. Average was never your fit. You're not most people. You're the one who rewrites the rules. Section 27. The dawn of your comeback. There's a pivot point in every life, a moment to ditch the rearview mirror, to drop the anchor of regret, to stop letting yesterday's ghosts dictate who you'll be. That moment's now. Maybe life slammed you flat, knocked you off your feet harder than you ever saw coming. You've stumbled, you've lost, you've screwed up, and for a stretch, it felt like the lights were out for good. But here's the raw truth. You're not through. Your tale's still unfolding, and this page, it's titled The Comeback. Michael Jordan didn't wallow. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. This isn't about clawing back to some old checkpoint. It's about surging up tougher, fiercer, taller than before. It's locking eyes with your reflection and snarling, no more. It's planting your boots back in the ring, bruised and bloodied and roaring, I'm not done. The comeback's not a rewind, it's a reinvention. Kobe Bryant lived it. The beauty in being blessed with talent is rising above doubters to create a beautiful moment. You don't just return, you redefine. Life's a relentless sparring partner. It'll shove you to the edge, test your marrow, make you doubt every inch of yourself. But the real gut check is what you do next. Will you slump there, watching the parade march on without you, or will you rise and swing? Will you grip the wheel of your own days and say, today's mine? The past threw its punches. Fine, now it's your turn. Jordan knew, if you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. This is your shot to flip the script. Doubters will buzz like flies. Naysayers chirping you're too broken, too late, too small. Let them talk. They don't hold your pen. You do. The past is a locked vault. What's ahead is clay in your hands. Take the hits, the sleepless nights, the gut-wrenching lows, and smelt them into rocket fuel. Every scar's a spark, every no a nudge, every collapse a call to charge harder. You're not here to mourn, you're here to ignite. This is your comeback, and it starts now. Section 28. The unquenchable fire of your return. This isn't just a comeback, it's a resurrection, fiercer, sharper, lit by a blaze no storm can snuff out. You've got one spin on this rock, one shot, no replays, so why squander it nursing old wounds or shrinking into the sidelines? Rise up, fight hard, unleash the beast you've always been. Michael Jordan didn't sulk. I can't let failure stop me. I've got to keep pushing. This time you're not just stepping back in. You're storming the stage and the world's about to feel it. It's no cakewalk, nothing worth seizing ever is, but you've got the guts, the spark, the steel inside. The second you vow nothing will hold you back, that's when the tide turns. So what's the holdup? Stand tall, scrape off the doubt, mute the fear, and wrench your life back into your hands. This is your comeback, and it's not a whisper, it's a roar. Kobe Bryant owned his, I'm not afraid to fail, I'm afraid of not trying. The world's about to witness your power unleashed. This isn't a fleeting flash, it's a trek, a gauntlet of will, discipline, and grit. It'll chafe, it'll sting, it'll demand every drop you've got. But if you bulldoze through, if you spit in the face of surrender, you'll emerge a titan, the mightiest you yet. Comfort's not on the menu. Ease isn't the deal. Jordan said, the only way to get better is to challenge yourself. You're not here to coast. You're here to conquer, to forge a self no force can fracture. The skeptics will swarm, dragging up your old flops, your stumbles, your scars. Let them yap. Your past isn't your jailer. Your slip-ups don't script your fate. Every giant, every icon, every legend ate dirt and got back up. The difference, they didn't call it quits. They turned the page. Now it's your pen, your chapter. Rewrite it. Show them what you're forged from. This isn't just a moment. It's your time to prove you're unstoppable, a story they'll never forget. Section 29. The first step to unbreakable. You might not feel primed, might not feel like you've got the muscle for it, but dig deep and it's there. You've got the raw material, you just need to trust it's real. Take that first stride, one shaky, gutsy step. That's it. One call to climb instead of collapse. One push to march on when every fiber's begging you to fold. The sting of forging ahead? It fades. The ache of throwing in the towel? That's a lifelong scar. Michael Jordan didn't wait for strength. You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. Picture it. A year from now, 5, 10, scanning the rear view of your life. Will you stand tall, chest out, proud of the moves you're making today? Or will what if echo like a ghost, gnawing at the chances you didn't grab? Will you nod and say, I left it all out there? Or will regret sink its teeth in? Kobe Bryant didn't coast on maybe. I don't want to be the next anybody, I want to be the first me. Your call today writes your tale tomorrow. Make it bold. There's a furnace in you, a potential that stretches past your wildest frame, but no one's flipping the switch for you. It's your load, your fight. No more dodging with excuses, no more loitering for the perfect beat, no more wishing for a miracle drop. You're the shift, the spark, the comeback itself. The power's not out there, it's in your hands. Jordan said, I've never been afraid to fail. Stop waiting, start claiming. The road's rough, barriers will rear up, resistance will bite, but every clash you wrestle through, every wall you punch past, you're hardening, you're showing yourself and the world that you don't shatter. Champs aren't sculpted in cushy corners. They're hammered out in the heat, tempered by the hard knocks. Right now you're in the forge, being shaped into something relentless. Own your arc, grip your future, reclaim your might. Your peak's not a memory, it's a horizon. You're not done, you're just beginning. Section 30, the daily choice to rise. The clock's ticking, this is your comeback, and the stage is set for your ascent. Go now. Prove to yourself you're bigger than yesterday's shadows, tougher than your flops, fiercer than any force in your path. You're marked for greatness, and this is just the opening bell. Michael Jordan didn't rest on fate. I've always believed that if you put in the work, the results will come. The world's watching. Show it who you are. This isn't a hazy hope or a whispered want, it's a call you answer every dawn. When that alarm blares, you've got a split-second showdown. Slap it silent and stagnate, or leap up and lunge forward. When plans crack, you choose. Whine and wilt or grit your teeth and carve a way through. When doubters sneer, you decide, let their jabs sink you, or let their skepticism stoke your climb. Kobe Bryant chose, I'd rather be perceived as a winner than a good teammate. Every day's a vote. Cast it bold. Success doesn't ride on a lucky break or a silver spoon gift. It's forged in the steady drumbeat of showing up. It's dragging yourself to the line when your spirit's dragging, pounding the pavement when the stands are empty, stacking effort until your hurt turns to horsepower. Jordan said, the game has its ups and downs, but you can never lose focus. It's not flash, it's fight day in, day out until the world can't ignore you. Look at the giants, the ones who flipped the script, who spun setbacks into jet fuel. Did they glide through unscathed? Did they never waver? Hell no. They chose. They picked keep going over give in, refused to let the world write their ending. That fork's yours now. The greats didn't wait for smooth sailing. They rode through the storm. You're no different. This moment, this choice, it's your torch. Grab it and rise. Section 31, the moment you claim your win. What's it gonna be? Will you slump there, letting life slip past like sand, trapped in the same tired loop of should've, can't, and what if? Or will you rise? This is your hour. No cavalry's charging in, no fairy godmothers dropping a golden life in your lap. It's on you to snatch it. Michael Jordan didn't wait. I've never waited for someone to give me anything. I've gone out and taken it. Your move, take it now. Fight for it and watch the alchemy unfold. Every shove against your limits builds muscle, physical, mental, unbreakable. Every stare down with fear strips its power, turning you fearless. Every no you defy makes you a juggernaut. Kobe Bryant thrived on it. The moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win. The harder you grind, the tougher you get. Each battle's a brick in your fortress. Every inch you claw toward this comeback is a win. Every time you spit in quitting's face, you're proving you're a damn sight more than you ever dreamed. It's no stroll, greatness never is, but the payoff, it's gold. One day, you'll glance back at this pivot, this split second where you grabbed the reins, chased your fire, ditched the excuses. You'll stand tall, proud you didn't fold, proud you pushed when the weight crushed, proud you became who you were always meant to be. So get up, reclaim your strength, step into the titan you are. The world's got its eyes peeled, it's your comeback, and this time you're not breaking till the finish line's yours. Jordan said, winning isn't always championships. It's about never giving up. This isn't a maybe, it's a must. The clock's live, the stage is set, and you're not here to watch, you're here to win. Go. Section 32. The silent forge of champions' doubt will slink in. Shadows of old wounds, echoes of flops, murmurs of fear clawing to drag you under. Hear this. You're not chained to what was. You're not your stumbles, not your scares. You're mightier than the hurt, bigger than the blows and every shred of that struggle. You can smelt it into steel. Michael Jordan shook off the dark. I've failed over and over. That's why I succeed. You're not defined by what broke you. You're shaped by what you build from it. A comeback brews in the quiet, before dawn when the world's asleep, past midnight when fatigue gnaws, in the hush when no one's cheering. It's forged when you bet on yourself, even as the stands empty out. Kobe Bryant thrived there. You have to work hard in the dark to shine in the light. No spotlight, no fanfare, just you, raw and resolute, stacking wins no one sees. Greatness is born off stage. In the grind no one toasts, the cuts no one counts, the hours when it's you against your own limits. When the crowd thins, when the hype fades, when it's just your will staring down your weariness. That's the real cage match. Jordan knew. The good part about being obsessive is that you don't give up. Champions don't bloom in applause. They harden in the unseen. Will you slug it out? Will you shove past the howl to quit? Rise after every fall, keep swinging until you're the you you're meant to be. Discipline stings for a flash. Regret festers forever. Excuses litter the path. Reasons to bail pile high. But one beacon outshines them. Your future self. The one who made it, who climbed, who crushed it. They're watching, waiting on this call. Don't flake on them. Fight. This isn't just a moment. It's your making. Section 33. The Self-Made Rise. This comeback's not a middle finger to the doubters. It's not about flexing for the gallery or shouting to the stands. It's quieter, deeper. It's you proving to you that greatness isn't a fluke. It's your birthright. No one's got to sign off on your ascent. No one's got to bless your shift. No one's got to greenlight your potential. You already feel it in your marrow. Now's the time to move on it. Michael Jordan didn't need a nod. I don't need anyone to tell me what I can do. I show it. Enough stalling, enough second-guessing, enough shoving your dreams to the back burner. Stand up, start walking, take one step, then another, and don't stop. Soon, you'll glance over your shoulder at this exact heartbeat, the one where you chose to climb, and you'll see it clear. It was the mightiest call you ever made. Kobe Bryant owned his, I create my own path. This isn't a maybe. It's a mark you're etching right now. This is your slot, your shot, your comeback, and when the chaos fades, when the smoke lifts, when the fight's done, you won't just be upright. You'll tower, taller, tougher, a force remade. Go now. Reclaim what's yours. Jordan said, once I made a decision, I never thought about it again. The world's waiting, but this isn't for them. It's for the you that's breaking free. No retreat now. You've drawn the line, locked your eyes on the prize, and there's only one way left, forward. Life might sling curveballs. The world might poke and prod, doubt might hiss its old tune, but none of it holds weight. You're forged for this brawl, stronger than the strain, built to rise no matter the barricade. Nothing's stopping you, not now, not ever. This is your comeback, and you're taking it all the way. Section 34. The Crucible of Redemption. Champions aren't sculpted in cushy corners or breezy days. They're hammered out in the blaze, under the crush, in the split seconds when folding feels like the softest out. But you grit your teeth and press on. Most crumble when the heat spikes, bail when the ache bites, trade their worth for a lesser load because the fight scares them stiff. Not you. You're not most people. Michael Jordan thrived there. The harder it gets, the more I want it. You're the outlier who flips the script, who barrels through the impossible, who spins every trip, every bruise, every grind into gold. Your tale's not done. There's a fresh page begging ink, and it's stamped redemption. Most settle for the ashes. You rise from them. Kobe Bryant knew, everything negative is an opportunity. You're not here to fade. You're here to rewrite, to reclaim, to reign. You'll hush every whisper of doubt. Show yourself you've always had the chops. Take every jagged shard of yesterday and ignite it into rocket fuel. You weren't built to wallow, to stew in what was. You were crafted to climb, to conquer. The past doesn't own you, it powers you. Jordan said, I've never lost a game, I just ran out of time. You're not down. You're gearing up for the win you were always destined for. But it's got a burn in you. Deep, fierce, a hunger that demands blood and sweat, that drags you forward when your body's screaming halt. That's the divide. The frail from the fierce, the shattered from the unyielding, the dreamers from the doers. Most wish you weld. You don't just want success, you forge it piece by relentless piece. You're not a bystander, you're a creator. and this redemption's yours to shape. Section 35. The day you shape your legend. Every stride you take is a chisel on your fate. Every call you make a stroke on your legacy. This very second, you're molding what's to come. So, what's the vision? When you glance back, will you see a trail of stutters, regrets, and if-onlys, or a saga of relentless hustle, ironclad discipline, a champion's soul staring back? It's your pen, your page. Write it bold. Michael Jordan didn't flinch. I'm the one who decides what my limits are. No one's swooping in to hoist you up. No one's clocking the hours for you. No one's gifting you this comeback. It's yours to rip from the ether. Why the pause? This isn't some random sunrise. It's the day. The day you flip the script, quit dodging your own power, step full throttle into the you you're destined to be. Kobe Bryant seized his, "I don't wait for opportunities, I make them." This isn't a rehearsal. It's your cue. Shed the excuses, ditch the dawdling, silence the what-ifs. You're primed, you've always been primed. Now's the grab. When the tale's told, when the last line's scratched, you won't be the one who bailed, who let fear call the shots, who let life snap you in half. Jordan said, "I never looked at the consequences of missing a big shot. I just took it." You're not here to fold, you're here to fight. You'll be the one who soared, who turned no way into watch me, who gripped the wheel and built a life worth shouting about. So rise, stand fierce, lock eyes with the gauntlet, and let it know you're unbreakable. This is your comeback, your shot to carve a mark no one can erase. Go now, make it yours, make it epic, make it you.